I feel, to provide a certain percentage of their earnings into affordable housing. And also government could support through some incentive concessional schemes for enabling the marginalized groups to purchase the houses. And I would like to conclude my reflection by saying that in any effort for reducing the cost and to make housing affordable, we should not compromise the principle of accessibility of diverse disability groups and other segments. And in so doing, if required, government should invest money from its own project as a integral part of policy and project development. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
It might be easy to build houses, but without having infrastructure to support the communities of these houses, the house has no value. In other words, you need to have, if you build houses about 20 kilometers outside town and people cannot get jobs, those houses might have no value. It might create a problem. So that's one issue that we need to also think about: integrated infrastructure that support these communities. And two is the issue of financing. The biggest problem that many people are facing is that accessibility. Even if you build, you cannot have a free housing, everybody can come in. People might be a very small fee. Getting support of these individuals, of accessibility, particularly in the South, for example, where mortgages are extremely high, it will be very difficult for people to own their houses. It's going to take forever for them to get it. And the third one I would like to leave is the issue of displaced people. These people who are suffered, traumatized over the years, I think they need a unique way of addressing their concern. They might not, because they need a durable solution to live where they are. And those are the three items I will leave. Again, thank you very much for inviting us.
Thank you very much. When we talk about people's public and whatever partnership, if it is institutionalized, where we include organized communities to be part of the decision making in planning and delivering of houses, I think it's very important. And also the financial mechanism that will give access for communities who have tried themselves. Because, like for instance, I will give an example of SDI. We've got a lot of resources. We just want to meet each other halfway with governments so that housing delivery can be easier. And also to formalize the informal settlements by giving proper security of tenure to the informal settlers so that they can also use their own resources and take care of their own economic projects or programs. I think those are the important things that I want to highlight. That information collection, I think the data that governments are using sometimes are not meeting the needs of the real vulnerable people. So if we work together and collect the aggregated data that is important to create the space for housing delivery, it will be very, very much important. And finally, Anna, maybe I would like you to allow me to invite all of you today from 12 o'clock to 1:30. We are celebrating our 30th anniversary of the existence of SDI that is driven by women. So you are all welcome to come and celebrate with us. We enjoyed too much, and this, especially the partnership with you and Habitat that we have done for almost over 20 years.
Post-conflict and reconstruction context, we understand that how much time it takes to build one house or to repair the flat where we're living. And you can imagine how much time it takes to construct 1,000 houses for the displaced people, and at the same time to provide a proper healthcare system, provide educational facilities, roads, railways, and so on. And that also takes time. But the people who are waiting for their return, they don't have time. They want to make it as quicker as possible. And for that reason, the government needs to react quite quickly. for that reason. And in that case, I believe what we do ourselves is to have an institutional framework that coordinates all activities, that come together, which brings together all governmental bodies into one place and start analyzing the places where the cities and villages are going to be built. And that's exactly what we are doing and what we've done for the past few years.
The housing will never be only a private market question, and it's going to be, if we want social housing, it's going to be a public policy question. For this, we need three things. We need political will, we need money, and we need solutions. So in terms of money, we have to bear in mind that despite the advocacy we're doing here, only less than 1%, according to Habitat for Humanity, less than 1% of the ODA is going to housing. Okay? And we also need to assess country by country what part of the GDP is going to public policy on housing, and we would have many surprises if we really do assess this country by country. So please try to do this for your country. What part of the GDP is really going to housing? Second thing, policies and political will. We need every country to have an inclusive public policy on housing, and a policy that takes into account all the situations. And I'm talking about all the situations. And third, solutions. We need to share solutions. This is what we're doing here. I'm just advocating for rental housing. How many of your countries have a real policy on rental housing, which is obviously a sector of housing which is not addressed, vastly more not addressed in the world. So for the work that we are doing in UN Habitat, I just want to tell you that we have an open-ended working group on housing that is taking place after the resolution 2.7 on adequate housing for all. We're trying to advocate for that. We have been securing the presidency with Kenya the first year, and my colleague here of Azerbaijan and Somalia are taking the lead for this year. So there are things happening. We still need advocacy, but we need to advocate first to be clear on the fact that this is not going to be solved only by the market, and that the public sector has to get embedded into housing policies. Thank you.